5 tips for a man recovering from betrayal trauma. That's our topic, men. And we do heal differently. I'm going to give you just 5 tips and stay with me for a few moments. I'm a guy, I'm not going to take a long time. If you have yet to subscribe, you definitely want to subscribe to our channel because we have so much information on this topic from so many different directions. And if you have a question, put it in the box. Listen, I'm going to give you 5 tips. And these are going to be quick and short. You might want to write them down, but important. Now, before I get into the tips, I'm going to let you know we have a couple-hour DVD called The Betrayed Man, which will give you lots of tools and information. We have another one called After Infidelity, which gives you a lot of information. And so there are tools for you specifically. But right now, let me give you a couple just sage advice. I'm Dr. Doug Weiss. I've been counseling infidelity for 40 years specifically. I certify counselors in sexual addiction, intimacy, anorexia, and partner betrayal trauma. I actually am the person who coined and trademarked partner betrayal trauma as well as intimacy anorexia. So I know what I'm talking about. Just like you've been on the job for years or decades, you learn a lot of stuff. And what I learned is that men and women process being cheated on totally differently. So here's quick 5. Okay, number 1, don't keep it a secret. Now, don't go telling everybody. Actually, I wouldn't go into telling anybody you're going to stay in relationship with until you know where you're going down the road, okay? After a divorce, if you want to share, that's different. And if you have children, we have a DVD called, What to Tell the Children, so that you get a lot of wisdom on that before you go down that road. But what I mean is talk to someone, okay? Someone has to know what's going on because men tend to not tell anyone. They're ashamed that their wife has cheated. And if they're going to stay with her, they don't want to embarrass her more. And they don't want to be embarrassed themselves. Like, what was it about me that made her cheat? Well, let me answer that question. Nothing. She cheated because she cheated. Now, are there variables that you could be bringing into the marriage or relationship that are painful or not mature? Yes. Those variables need to be addressed if you're going to stay together, but they don't make women cheat. They make them leave, but they don't make them cheat. Cheating is an individual choice. There's variables, and in The Betrayed Man, I go through that in great detail. There's several roads a woman will go down that can influence her to cheat, but ultimately she decides. Now, the kind of person you do tell needs to be, number 1, trustworthy, can keep confidence. And number 2, it's really best if they know a little bit about this either personally or they have some kind of role. They're a pastor. The absolute best person to tell, of course, a counselor who specializes in this. I'm not talking about a generalist. It's like if you take a Ford to a Mercedes dealership, they cannot help you at all. They don't have the tools. Okay, they don't understand how your car works. It's different than a Ford. Okay, a general counselor is not what you need. You need someone who understands betrayal trauma, understands maybe the addiction piece and the anorexia piece. Let me just pause on the intimacy anorexia piece because most women who cheat are intimacy anorexics inside their marriages or their primary relationship. So I'm going to give you quick characteristics of that. And if you're nodding your head a little bit, write intimacy anorexia down, go to intimacyanorexia.com. There's lots of information there. We have lots of free YouTubes on that topic. Get educated, get the materials on that. And definitely that needs to heal if you're thinking about moving forward, because otherwise you'll have a woman who doesn't cheat on you maybe, but doesn't know how to get her love to you either, if she has it. Now, she's too busy for you. She blames you for all the problems in the marriage. She withholds love. She withholds praise. She withholds spiritually. She withholds sex or is disconnected during sex, like you feel alone before, during, and after sex. And it's like you're always having to be the one initiating. She will be unwilling to share her feelings or heart with you. She will use anger or silence as a way to control you. She will have ongoing or ungrounded criticism of you. You will feel married and alone, and you've told her that year after year or decade after decade, and you're in pain. Now you have 2 types of trauma, and you don't even understand what the one type is. Okay, you've been depleted on one side and hit by like an 18-wheeler on the other side. So it's a double trauma for you. So you're going to need to be, what the next step I'm going to tell you is, you need to get information. All right, you need to talk to someone so that you have that outlet. Otherwise, you're going to stuff and you're going to only lean on your own tools. You don't have enough tools to deal with this. That'd be as foolish as you getting hit by an 18-wheeler, being bloody and cut up and, thrown out the windshield and saying, I got this. Okay, you don't got this. Now, you don't show any physical signs. You still shave in the morning. You get up and go to work. Okay, provide for your family. Try to be a good dad, good employee, or business owner. But inside, you're bleeding and gushing and leaking and hurt and angry and frustrated and grieving. And that's just the start of it. So get informed. The best one source is Betrayed Man After Infidelity, Partner Betrayal Trauma, the book or video. There's a lot of information for you to process what has happened to you. I'm going to stop there because I know you're a guy and you just want the short take. Next, get honest with your feelings. Your anger is legit. Your sadness is legit. Your sorrow about the past, the present, confusion, the future, insecurity. You need to be able to know what you're feeling or feel your feelings. Now, as a guy, you probably have very little skill at that. And honestly, most Western women don't have many skills in this either, because if she had skills like that, she probably wouldn't have to cheat. She would just share her feelings, right? Now, there's a great book called Emotional Fitness, and it can teach you how to identify your feelings, feel your feelings, and switch your feelings. So you don't have to stay stuck in the same feeling. Because if you get in a rut, okay, you can really get jacked up, and you don't want to do that. You are going to grieve. Number 4, you're going to grieve. Shock, denial, anger. And in The Betrayed Man, I give you a pathway to deal with that rage that's healthy. It's healthy to be angry. It's not healthy to yell and scream at her, but it's healthy to be angry and have a way to really release that in a way that is very healthy for you. I've done it with thousands of clients, and it works, okay? But you're going to have to grieve the anger, then the sadness, which can actually look like symptoms of depression, okay? And it's a common symptom of betrayal. No energy, you're not yourself anymore. Your concentration gets foggy. You don't want to make decisions. You're putting things off. You could feel worthless, even suicidal. You can gain weight or lose weight. You can have trouble sleeping. And that would all be normal inside of a grief cycle when you get later down the road, where you really start feeling the sadness of what's happened and the acceptance of what has happened, that it was her choice. And then you go through the processes of whether you're working on it, she's willing to work on it, she's not willing to work on it, you're willing to work on it or not work on it, where you are in your development, whether you have small children, medium-sized, adults, whatever you got, you're going to grieve. Lastly, get intelligent help. This is not a time to go see the local counselor who treats everything. You need a specialist, okay? It's like you don't take your Porsche to the Ford dealership, because the Ford dealership does not have the tools to deal with a Porsche, has no understanding of it really. Now, they're a mechanic, but they're not a mechanic for a Porsche, okay? A Porsche mechanic goes through certifications so they can work on Porsches. In my office, everyone's been certified to deal with partner betrayal trauma, sexual addiction, understand psychological disorders, and they also understand intimacy anorexia, because with women, again, the percentage is so high that they're anorexic with you. And if you don't understand that piece, and that doesn't heal, you're going to be still married and alone, but with someone who doesn't cheat on you. And that's not going to feel much better than being married and alone than someone who does cheat on you. You're still not going to feel loved, connected to having a sexual encounter where you feel she's present, all that stuff. And this is a time to heal. Heal from her past, your present, and build the future if you're going to do it together. But you need hands and heart and a mind that understands all of that process and who specializes it. You can come do a 5-day intensive in our office in Colorado Springs. You can get neuromodulation, which can help your brain get out of the trauma so that you can become neuroplastic again and be able to think more clear. So there's a lot of help out there for you, but you need to take the steps. Now I'm going to talk to you straight up. There is a long way to heal and a short way. The short way is follow the tips I just gave you and do them. Now I'm talking with 40 years of experience, okay? I've been on Oprah, Dr. Phil. I'm an expert globally on infidelity, all right? Or you can do it your way with your tools that you don't have, and you can take years and you can make really bad decisions because you don't have enough information, support, and tools. Now, no matter where you are in life, you don't want to throw years away or even decades away dealing with the bullet that was stuck in you. And, you know, some guys do that. The bullet of trauma stays in there and they walk around with that bullet 10, 15, 20, 30 years and they don't really take the bullet out. Now, if you take the bullet out, you can get your full life back. Whether she changes or not, you can have a complete life again. All right, that's now up to you. Trauma gives you opportunity to heal or not to heal. My encouragement as your, let's just say, encourager today is to do what you need to do to get help. If you need our help, the numbers on the screen are in the description. Get the materials if you want those. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do that. If you have a question, do that. We want the best for you, and if you do, reach out and do some of the things I just talked about.